Right here, right now, right in this moment, precisely, where we are positioned, but above the realm of time and space, the entire universe exists in its totality. We are one. What we see in the realm of time and space depends upon which of the universal frequencies we tune ourselves to. How can we learn to walk between dimensions, to meet and talk with the life forms of different worlds, to communicate with angels and land spirits, with ascended masters and our own guides and guardians, with the life forms inherent inside water or earth, with animals, plants and stones, with the objects and implements of our life, such as tools and chairs, with our own family and friends. Actually, all humans are already communicating interdimensionally as part of the process of understanding our personal environment. We just never considered that we could consciously develop this capacity. When you decide on a bright, sunny morning to bring an umbrella to work because your body is telling you that rain is on the way, when you ask the parking deva to have a parking space available for you on the busy street near a store, and the open space is there waiting for you, when as you're browsing the shelves at the library, a book drops off a shelf into your hands, and it's the very book you need to address some question or problem you've been thinking about, when you're rearranging the living room furniture or creating a new garden, and the couch or the new peony bush tells you where it wants to be, when the phone rings and you know who it is before you answer it. These are all common, everyday instances of interdimensional communication. The only difference between people who say they cannot perceive interdimensionally and people who consciously communicate interdimensionally is intent and practice. Most people access interdimensional information unconsciously. When they experience conscious contact with a non-human energy, they tend to pass it off as a curiosity or as intuition, or they cancel out the experience as too weird to deal with. Interdimensional communicators, however, apply the principles of interdimensional existence to understand what is occurring. They explore the situation to learn from it. When experiencing contact with life forms or information beyond that of external human conversation, the conscious communicator queries, what frequency did I just access? How did I get there? What are the inhabitants of this frequency like? How do I proceed? How do I return to this world when I wish to? For an experience to be replicated, certain rules or principles must be identifiable in the process. The interdimensional communicator seeks to comprehend these principles, thus shifting the interdimensional contact from being an oddity to being a scientific observation. Drugs can open up these windows between dimensions, but they also pollute the openings and can leave them open or close them tightly. Drugs are not valid means for transportation and can create problems. The sacred use of consciousness-altering plants by indigenous cultures is different, for these are used under strict controls by experts working within their cultural experience of consciousness. Violent, ecstatic, and devotional emotions can open up windows between dimensions, but what is seen will usually be an inaccurate, incomplete vision. This is because individuals in these situations have been snared by intense energies that are seeking a specific object. These people are not interested in seeing the full field of energy itself, but only a specific object within that field. They will connect with energies directly related to their intent. or to subconscious directives they have received from others. They are defining an entire world by one object in that world, which may or may not be a correct assumption. For instance, if they focus on one cactus plant, they might assume they are in a desert while they actually landed in a desert section of a botanical garden. When devotees go exploring consciousness, they will connect with the energy of the tradition they are currently practicing, such as the Buddha consciousness or the Christ consciousness. They will proceed via the road mapped out for them by that tradition. However, as they proceed further into spirit, their journey starts to become personal. They begin shifting from travels via roads built by others in their tradition to traveling via their own individual understanding. Once any individual learns the parameters of that or any field, the journey turns personal. Even within established traditions, each person's way becomes unique to their own development and goals. No two journeys are ever exactly the same. It is at this point, however, we arrive here, that the knowledge of the true workings of energy become predominant. Thus Lao Tzu said to his followers, "The way that is the way is not the way." Interdimensional perception requires a broad acceptance of the nature of reality. The broader our acceptance, the more accurate the assessment of the situation can be. This assessment includes accepting the validity of a consciousness as it emerges in other cultures and life forms. It also includes valuing the contribution of both the so-called light and dark forces of the universe. If we pull back and reject some aspect of an energy field as inferior or evil or wanting in validity, we can create a blind spot in our accurate comprehension of the situation. Right here and now, precisely where we are positioned, but above the realm of time and space, the entire universe exists in its totality. We are one. What we see in the realm of time and space depends upon which of the universal frequencies we tune ourselves to. Tune ourselves to. Those life forms you are seeing around you right now are only perceivable because you and they have agreed to perceive existence through the frequency of the third dimension, magnified to the human energy field and to the time of the 21st century. We could, should we develop the capacity to do so, identify with life forms in other time-space frequencies, and these life forms would appear before our eyes. Potentially, there is no end to the time-space travel or dimensional shifts we could make. It is important, however, to ask why should we want to do so, and what do we want to accomplish? Performing dimensional shifts for amusement or to gain power, or for any other temporal, shallow reason is always eventually unfulfilling. It can lead to an extreme state of boredom, ennui, sated sophistication, sadism, voyeurism, and so on. When done with the right intent or motivation, it can offer immense love, compassion, oneness, and companionship. We are antennas even, that attract specific ranges of frequencies into our field of perception or our pattern of resonance. Because of many issues coming together inside our own form, we are grounding a specific frequency or aspect of the source that no one else can accomplish in quite the same way. We are helping to ground on Earth in the solid third dimension some subtle aspect of whatever frequency we turn our consciousness to explore. Our holding a consciousness on Earth makes that consciousness more available to the next human being who seeks to master that particular issue and to go beyond their current level of perception. To a more fulfilling or complete understanding. Thus, whenever we make progress, many others do too, and when we fail or go to the dark side, we enable those forces to become more active in our world. When we resolve any issue inside ourselves, we make viable solutions to that issue more readily available to all others. And my dear and esteemed viewer, it is my contention that if you hit that subscribe button, that you too will make viable solutions to these issues more readily available to all others in our New Earth tribe. So please hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more offerings from the Umbanda New Earth Ashram for Compassion and Strength.
Namaste. Namaskaram.